Episode 129 of Australia's #1 marketing show. This time, I have a fireside chat with a marketing action taker. I've got a Kylie Minogue update. Plus, I found out why Seth Godin may have knocked me back.
Welcome to the Small Business Big Marketing Show, where successful small business owners share their secrets to take your marketing to the next level. Now here's your host, Tim Reid.
G'day everyone, and welcome back to episode 129 of Australia's favourite marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. You right there are a motivated small business owner, and a very attractive one at that. And we are brought to you by the very good folk at Net Registry, who help you get your business sorted online. And I want to welcome everyone also from the Flying Solo community. Hey, as we go to air, we are the #1 marketing show in the business section, actually. The #1 business show in the iTunes store, just above TED. Hey, love that. So thank you for that. And thank you for everyone, all of you, you know who you are, who have left a written listener review in my iTunes listing. I really appreciate that. I read every single one of them. iTunes doesn't allow me to reply, but I appreciate them from the bottom of my little old heart. Now, let's get stuck into this. Some updates, which I will do post the interview. Suffice to say that I'll give you an update on what's happening with John Dingledye, the guy I interviewed last time in the last episode, who's trying to get a date with Kylie Minogue for all the right reasons. Stay tuned for an update there. I will also share with you a little bit of an update on me trying to get Seth Godin onto the show. A listener has pointed me in the direction of some points of view Seth has about why he may have declined coming on this show and or other shows like this. So stay tuned for that. That will be after the interview. I've got some great interviews coming up, which I'll share with you as well. Now, some exciting news, guys. The Small Business Big Marketing Forum has been in the making for a number of weeks now. It is now live. Yep. It is there. Go to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, and on the right-hand side, there will be a banner ad that says Forum. And I'm excited about this. This is my opportunity to hang out with you guys on pretty much a daily basis. I'll be going in there. You can ask questions. I will post my answers. And the intent is that over time, there will be discussion amongst all of us, not just me to you and you to me, but a whole lot of motivated small business owners getting in there and sharing their marketing ideas, questions, thoughts, conundrums. If you head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, you can sign up. It is it's expensive. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I know. Drum roll for the price. It is a massive $49. There it is. Starting off $49. It will get expensive over time, but to get this thing off the ground, it's $49 recurring on a monthly basis. And basically, it's a place for motivated small business owners to hang out and talk about marketing. I've broken it up into a number of sections. I've also loaded it with lots of content that I've created over the course of my years in marketing, and will continue to add more content, more training, more videos, more everything, just to get your marketing sorted. I was going to say helped, but really that doesn't make sense. Sorted. So join me. I am going to limit the amount of members first up, so we get a bit of traction. I'm probably going to limit it around 40. Haven't decided that yet as this goes to air, but I'm really keen to see some of you guys in there. So head on over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Hit on the forum button on the right-hand side. You'll see a video where I take you through the forum. You can see inside it what it looks like, and then I will see you on the other side. All right. Guys, before we get stuck into this interview, which I'm really excited about, it's actually another inspiring interview, a bit like last week's with John Dingledye. We are brought to you by the very good folks at Net Registry, who help you get your business sorted online. So if you've got any online questions, conundrums, they're the guys to help you. They help you with that. Right now, they're setting up a Facebook competition on the Small Business Big Marketing Facebook, where they're going to give away a free ticket to a conference up in Sydney in in April. So I encourage you to go over to the Small Business Big Marketing Facebook and like it. And there's going to be competitions happening, and Net Registry is setting that up at the moment. They're great for SEO, web design and development, hosting, domain name registration, you name it. Head over to netregistry.com.au. Okay, today's guest. I'm excited about this. This is Small Business Big Marketing, right? That's the name of the show, and the name says it all. And my guest today, Peita Dimantidis. I always struggle with long names. Peita Dimantidis is from a financial planning company called Caboodle Financial Services, which she has just renamed from Delta. Okay, now, Peita attended a workshop, a talk, a 90-minute talk I gave last year in Sydney, in which I shared some marketing gold amongst a room of, I can't remember, maybe 100 financial planners and financial advisors. And I talked a lot about, all that stuff I shared. Get your message right first before you worry about where to put it. Work on identifying the key pillars of your brand. Be true to what your business stands for. All that marketing goodness I shared at this 90-minute keynote that I gave. Now, Peita is one of those rare beasts. And I say that lovingly, Peita. She's a lovely lady, but she's one of those rare beasts that picked up the information and absolutely implemented it to the T. It was incredible. So she's gone back. She has done the work on her brand. She has renamed her business, redesigned her brand, her logo, her livery, her whole corporate ID, and then gone about new website, new Facebook, videos, YouTube channel. She's blogging. She is away. So this is just a wonderful story of a small business doing big marketing. She's just ticking all the right boxes. She's taking all the right steps, okay? So I know a lot of my interviews are with really successful small business owners that I have fireside chats with around how did they build such an empire and what role did marketing play. Other times I have interviews with people who I think are providing great services to the small business community, like Chris Savage from Wistia recently. This is an interview about a motivated small business owner like you, like me, who has listened, has done some reading, who has attended a presentation and is now has now got the guts to implement. And I mean that. It takes courage. It takes courage to stop, draw a line in the sand and say, you know what? I'm going to do my marketing differently. I'm going to treat it seriously and I'm going to help it grow my business, because that's what marketing does. It helps grow your business. Peter's done all that. I know I'm rattling on, but it is exciting. This is not groundbreaking stuff. It's inspiring stuff. It's about action. And if you go to the show notes for this episode, I'll have all the links to Peita's website, to her Facebook, to her YouTube channel, and you can see all the stuff that she's created, all the marketing touch points that she's created. And she is loving it. She's injected a personality into her business that didn't exist previously. And now it represents who she is and the people that work there. And she's loving it. It's created a whole new energy, a whole new dynamic. Enough from me. Let's hear what Peita Dimantidis from Caboodle Financial Services has to say about how she went about it. Peita Dimantidis from Caboodle Financial Services. Thanks for popping into the Small Business Big Marketing studio.
You're very welcome.
Hey, now, you've had a bit of a marketing makeover, and we've got a fair bit of ground to cover, I'm thinking. So what I want to do is start by reflecting back to where you were a few, weeks or months ago?
Yeah, so for even 18 months ago, because of the types of clients we have what the industry calls passive or C&D clients. So we take over clients from other planners. And in doing that, it's almost like a cold call. It's quite a difficult call to make. And so we needed to find ways to engage. And we were doing that under our old brand Delta plan. And we recognised that while the phone call and all of our love and attention and great service was fantastic, we still wanted to be able to find other ways to engage and clever ways that gave us more bandwidth. And so, like I say, for about 18 months, I've been basically devouring every bit of reading I could get on social media, connecting with clients. I read 6 Pixels of Separation, which was a bit of an enlightening process. Mm-hmm. And that's what sort of brought to my attention that really, as an actuary who's a bit of a numbers freak, I needed to start thinking more about marketing.
Good on you. I love that. I didn't know you were an actuary. So numbers freak,
Yeah.
very, very rational, very calculated. Yeah. So to go down the path you're on is even more interesting. You know, like Delta Plan. So you had this business called Delta Plan. I always thought Delta a very 1983 type word. Where'd the name come from?
Well, as you can tell by my long and difficult surname, I married a good Greek boy.
Uh-huh.
And Delta in maths is the difference or the change. And so it was about, making a difference to clients, which, of course, is not clear in the brand. And really, I don't think there's any client that's ever got that message from the brand. But what happens with your name, like anything, is you just sort of run with it and then it becomes who you are. Yeah.
There's 2 schools of arguments with names where you go, you got to get the right name or just get a name and put the energy into it and it'll come to life. As I say to anyone who wants to listen, Apple used to be a piece of fruit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but, look, I don't know you. I've met you a couple of times, Peita, but, I'm thinking Delta Plan didn't reflect you as the business owner, didn't reflect your personality, didn't reflect what you were about.
Exactly. And what I'd realised, and this is what happened a few months ago, was I had struggled to get a web presence for us, even though I was keen to do it and we knew we needed to and we knew it was the next big thing for us. We knew that would take us on the next step. I just couldn't get it over the line. And I didn't have a good reason. We are the most logical, structured and project-oriented people you'll ever meet. And so the fact that this couldn't get done was a bit of a mystery. And what became clear...
Yeah, go on.
What became clear was like you say, Delta Plan didn't reflect me and what I was trying to do with the website. And so it was holding me back.
So do you think that was it? It's interesting because every small business owner has a blockage. Often it's either lack of time, money, or resources lack of time, money, knowledge in order to do great marketing. And you just couldn't put your finger on what exactly was stopping you from going forward.
No, and in fact, the first little hint was I've got a staff member that is one of those long-standing financial services people. She's been in the game longer than anybody I've ever met. She's a fantastic support person in our team, and she commented a couple of times that, Peter, really the thing we do differently is about your personality, Peter, and the way you explain things, the way you really simplify things for people, explain it in their language, make them feel comfortable, and we're not capturing that somehow. How do we bottle it? Was her expression.
Good. That is such a great insight.
And particularly from somebody who, from her perspective, marketing is, that's that weird stuff.
Yeah.
They're a bit strange, those people. So I thought that was really interesting that she came up with that. And so that's what... those things sort of percolate in your mind, and then with the crystallisation of the work that we did through the Better Business Forum, with yourself, and it suddenly dawned on us, well, hold on, we need the brand to be the first part of that bottling process.
Yeah. You've got to
and
start
capture that personality.
Yeah, well, message first, medium second, and the first part of message is understanding what your brand's all about. So,
yes.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And in fact, that staff member who identified the fact that you simplify things, that alone, simplification as a marketing strategy is really powerful. And you operate in the financial services industry, full of jargon, full of potential complication, full of fear on behalf of people who are handing you their life savings to make sure that they have enough money for the rest of their lives. If you've got that talent, then actually making it part of your strategy is really powerful. And you've clearly done that with the new name Caboodle and all it's about, which we will get to. So now I run the risk of, I'm not expecting you to say, what you said at the Better Business Forum, Timbo, is therefore led to all these changes. So I'm kind of walking the line here but it could prove to be a really good testimonial for me. But what was that epiphany? You've done a lot of reading. You had a staff member tap you on the shoulder and say, Delta Plan doesn't really represent who you are, who we are. Where was that Tell us about that moment where you've gone, I've got to run back to the office and make some changes.
Yes, so the first epiphany, and I think like anything that really is transforming, there's layers of it. I think lots of us require a bit of subliminal conditioning, and so you've got to get knocked on the head a couple of times before finally the light bulb goes on. And I think the first one was when I read, so 6 pixels of separation is basically saying, everybody's connected to everybody. And the key message out of that and every other bit of reading I've done on marketing was you need to give without the expectation of receiving. So you need to be willing to give tips and tricks and assistance out there and let anybody get access to it with the view that it's almost a karmic environment marketing, such that then people will just, like bees to honey, come towards you because they'll really engage with what you're doing for them and go, well, I don't want to do that for myself. I want you to do that for me. And so that was the first sort of step. And then it was that we realised that, okay, we've got to embark on this, but it wasn't until I got the blockage released from the brand. It was a challenge. That actually came up because we had to create a new brand for a joint venture we're doing. And so we went through a branding process, which we never really did for Delta Plan. I never really sat down with a great team of creatives and told them about the message, the sort of feel I wanted to give, which was a fun and engaging financial services provider, but still professional. And in that process, the ideas they came up with, one of them was Caboodle, but it wasn't for us. It was for the JV. The one we picked didn't end up being Caboodle, would you believe? Right. But that just raised, both my business partner and I quietly afterwards said, I really hope that the team in the JV don't pick Caboodle because we really like that. That really captures it.
So just to understand that, so you've gone and you actually did do some brand work on Delta Plan to identify what is Delta Plan really about, and if we were to change the name, what is the criteria? What's the brief? Were there particular questions you guys asked yourselves?
I think, yes, there was actually. One was, what aren't we? And I think in financial services, in particular, we aren't the high end of town, high net wealth, complicated financial services provider. So by clarifying that, it then helped us get to the core of what we did want to be, which was really welcoming, really engaging. We didn't want to be the type of people that maybe a client was sort of nervous about meeting with. Like you might be sometimes with your accountant or your lawyer. You know how sometimes there's that, these people are really serious and intelligent and I'm a bit nervous. We didn't want that. We wanted the people to know that we had the smarts, but that we would engage with them in their language and make it a bit of fun.
Okay, so what you
came out of that process.
Did you overtly identify some personality traits that you wanted to come through in the new brand?
Certainly. So the fun and engaging was the key thing. Yep. So almost cheeky.
Yep, love it. Playful, well, again,
playful was the word used.
You know what you're doing already. It's really clear. And what people need to see is obviously some of the touch points you've created, which we'll put in the post that accompanies this interview. But what you've done is you're basically challenging the conventions of the category in which you operate.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, and certainly I think what I would say is that I think there absolutely is a place for the other type of approach, which is a more serious and professional in the truly almost distant sense. Lots of clients actually want that.
Yep.
So I don't believe that that's something that we're doing the best thing and they're wrong. It's not that. It's just that I do think there's a huge portion of the market, and I've got some very good friends that fall into this category, that are just petrified of numbers and their money. And they're petrified of the people that talk about it.
Yeah.
The whole thing is traumatic. And every one of them calls me to talk about these things because, you can make them feel comfortable and relaxed about it. It's actually not that complex. When it comes down to it, most financial things aren't that complex if you can explain it the right way.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you've identified what you're not. You got clear on how you want to be described, your personality of this new brand. Is there anything else that kind of formed the basis of then deciding that? Because what you actually didn't do, I thought you might have sat down and had a bit of a brainstorm and come up with 10 names, but this joint venture very kindly just dropped a name right in front of you in Caboodle that just worked. So again, did you see Caboodle and just go, whoa, that's it? Let's hope it remains free.
Funnily enough, we did.
Right.
Funnily enough, it really engaged. Now, the team we work with are particularly fun and playful themselves, so the graphic designers, and so they really went to town with the original JV spec.
Yep.
And the name we actually went with for the JV was Money Mates. And it's meant to be a really grassroots, almost blue-collar engagement for financial services that we're doing in that JV. And the logo itself is a lot of fun too. So in fact, we were sport for choice, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Okay.
They really got the brief.
Love it. So you've already got, in terms of people to bring that to life, you had a creative agency, a graphic design company, was it?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got them. They've come up with the name. They've brought it to life via a number of touch points, which we are going to touch on in a minute. I am interested, however, because there's two schools of thought here as to how far and wide you share an idea in order to get people's opinions. Did you go and show 100 people the name Caboodle, or did you go, you know what, I love it, we're not going to show anyone, we're just going to run with it?
Yeah, it's funny. So my business partner and I often have very diverse views of these things, so the way we respond to them are quite different. But in this case, we were 100% loving it. And so we ran it past sort of our small circle of family and friends. And what was a universal reaction to when we talked about it was a smile.
Great.
So even if the person went, I don't know whether, financial services, is that a bit fun for financial services? Every one of them, when you said, the whole kit and caboodle, but you get a little smile. And I thought, okay, if we're trying to engage with people that we don't have a relationship with and we're trying to get an engagement, well, surely that's going to help. A smile's going to help. So
important. You did it without maybe even knowing it, but often I see small business owners sharing something. They'll flick I often get it. They'll flick me a new website and say, what do you reckon? And I go, well, I can't give you what I reckon is really subjective and is based on my own kind of take on things. Whereas what you need to tell me is, why is that website like it is? What are you hoping to get from it? What was the brief? And you've clearly explained. If you just sent the word caboodle around, you would have got a completely different reaction. But if you give supporting reasons why, then people get it.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we've got our name. You've then had it brought to life. I want to now sort of work our way through the various touch points that you've brought Caboodle to life in. Now, for anyone listening who's going, what's a touch point? Touch point literally is any point out in the marketplace where someone comes into contact with your business, with your brand, and I call them moments of truth, where it's a point in time where they can decide, I'm going to investigate further, or you know what, doesn't really resonate with me, I'll move on. So you've got a logo, you've had that design, you've then shared it across, what are we talking, stationery, business cards, PowerPoint template, letterhead?
Yeah, so we've mainly the business cards and the letterhead, we use electronic of all of that. And because we're on the Mac, then I have the super duper keynote that I can use, and I find that the templates I can generally do myself, so I didn't even get the design house to do that for me. I find that Keynote's so easy to use that they look pretty slick.
I do love Keynote, but I do so much speaking. Whenever I roll up to a venue to hand over my slide deck, it's like they've got the PC, so I can't rely on Keynote. It kills me. Tell me what I haven't done. I mean, explain Caboodle and explain the tagline, get your kit sorted. Like, why Caboodle and why the tagline?
Well, so the Caboodle came out of the whole kit and caboodle. So our vision for the business is where any question about money, anything like that, you come to us first. And even if we can't directly help you, we'll have some people who can. So the whole kit and caboodle was the starting point. And I have to admit the tagline is 100% my fault, and I guess part of me being a smartass. And I apologise for the slightly less than great word I'm about to use, but get your shit sorted is an expression that people use all the time.
I like that. I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah. I thought, well, it's an expression we hear, and even like you say, if you don't pick up on it, there's a certain direct message. Come on, let's just get your kit sorted.
Well, it's more get your shit together. than sorted, but I like that. I mean, there's a story, again, I like the ability to tell stories behind marketing, I think is really powerful. So, and it's just, it's an icebreaker.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct,
so
which we really need.
Okay, your kit and caboodle, get your kit sorted. Nice explanation line under that, which is smart, simple financial services. Again, nothing complicated, nothing about empowering, nothing about, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
All we'll leave that to 1983. Okay, now photography.
I know. Sorry, there was one other thing we did as part of that brand that we had never done before. Is they built us some icons, so these stickers that were about key messages or topics or categories that we constantly use. And that was a lesson from Apple. When I look at Apple and the way they communicate, they're really consistent with the way that certain things have a certain icon or a look, and you get used to that look. And so then when you receive something else, it's about that topic because of the icon they use.
Where do those where do the Caboodle icons appear, Peita?
They start to appear on the website. So when we're on, in areas through the website, and in fact on the banner, we've used them all as part of the banner, just as part of the graphic.
Oh, looking at it now. Yep. Gotcha.
And then over time, we'll actually have those linking through to other topics that they can click on and engage.
So we've got binoculars, we've got talking balloons, we've got chess pieces, we've got a little TV, all representative of different parts of the Caboodle brand, yeah?
Yeah,
Love
exactly.
It. Well, we'll get stuck into website. I know. Well, I was going to talk photography. Let's talk photography because I love the fact that you've gone and brought a photographer in for the day and brought the human element to your service-based business. Explain that one.
Well, that was actually, I would say that's the hardest thing of this whole process for me, because we had a previous experience of a franchise within a real estate brand, and something that they do within real estate, both badly and well, is put their mugshot on everything. So you get a photo that's somewhat daggy of yourself with a coloured background, and off we go. We slap that onto everything, and so that process had made me paranoid about not using a headshot on anything.
Yeah, the old leaning on the chin, the thinker pose.
Yes, just horrific. And I had become probably overly sensitive to such a thing, and so I had resisted ever getting headshots done or anything like that. But when I did some digging, that in fact our brand guys suggested, they said, look, just go and dig through the internet and just save the ones that you like. It can be any brand, but just, save them and start to try and analyse what you like about them. Every website I liked had animated and really simple photos of their staff doing things, or that you could identify with their team. They weren't necessarily looking straight at the camera, but they just let you sort of engage with them because you could see who they were. And I thought, okay, well, I need to take that message despite my resistance for getting photos done. And luckily we had met the lovely Jamal via Astron, actually getting some headshots just done for me, and he was fantastic. And I think that's probably key with getting those photos done, is the person doing it you need to really like and engage with. And we had one team member, in fact the same one that had the epiphany about, bottling the personality, who actually flat out refused initially.
Wow.
She really didn't want to get a photo taken. But with him, he got her giggling and laughing, and some of the best photos are actually of her.
Well, it's a non-negotiable, this whole area, particularly service-based businesses, but I just think any business, introduce the team. People buy from people.
Yeah.
The amount
and particularly for us, we do a lot over the phone, so they don't have the opportunity of actually meeting us.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. It's so powerful. And I'm looking at your page now, introducing the Caboodles, which is obviously the name you give to your staff. I love the fact that you're stretching this whole Caboodle name into other areas. And here you are jumping for joy in front of Luna Park. You're wandering along. There's some just individual shots. I mean, it just shows that you're human. It's great.
Yes.
So obviously these shots are then going to play out across potentially social media, your website, new business pitch documents, etc., etc.
Exactly. And I sort of see it as a really great content source. We're always searching for that content. Well, this is just another bit of content that I can use.
Yeah. How else have you used the Caboodle name? You've got the Caboodles, you've got the name Caboodle. Where else does it play out?
We're thinking, and because this actually hasn't been launched to our clients yet, so we still, as far as our clients are concerned, that we're still Delta Plan, we're thinking that the clients are Caboodlers. Or that when we do interact with them and we sort of get their kit sorted, that they've been caboodled. So there's, and we think there's just a number of ways we can have some fun with that.
Yeah.
Even to the point one of the team actually would like to get some T-shirts, I've been caboodled.
Absolutely. Now, that's interesting in itself. Haven't told the clients, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, Delta Plan, well, that's now Caboodle. How are you going to do that?
Yes, a very good question. So what we're intending to do is we have a cycle where we get in touch with everybody every 6 months, and so there's an opportunity to reinforce whatever the first message is at that conversation. So we can sort of talk about it one-to-one, but our intention is to send out an email communication first, followed up by letters for the people that we can't get to. And we've just used this funny little video that I found on Fiverr that's a Lego animation that basically uncovers the brand as part of that animation, and it's funny and a little daggy and a bit musical, and I figure it's certainly going to sink in. Anybody that opens that will remember the name Caboodle, whereas I imagine for those, say via the letter, that maybe won't go there, then it's another piece of paper that potentially will just get dropped in the bin along with other things when we all get our mail. Yeah.
I love that. Well, let's get back into those touch points because we haven't exhausted them, which is extraordinary. We've still got website, you've got Facebook, you've got a whole YouTube video marketing strategy. Now, I'm looking at your website. Interesting, you've gone and used Squarespace. Easy, cheap. Yeah, I get it. Is that why you use Squarespace and not WordPress?
Look, it's interesting. I had used WordPress a little bit. And sort of messed around with it but didn't really engage with it, and came across Squarespace quite accidentally and managed to build something a lot faster. So it may just be the way I think, that they've laid it out logically, but they recently did a complete relaunch and have built templates that you then drop in your own banner, pick your own colour, do that sort of stuff, and they're really slick. And it means you can get up very quickly. So what we want to do is give the website a good 12 months where we load lots of content. We really use it. Our clients really use it. And then at that point, we hand it over to a very smart web marketing type of group or person and say, right, what should we be doing differently? And maybe that won't be in Squarespace.
Yeah, right.
But we wanted to really, we didn't want to delay actually having the presence, and it lets you get up really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, look, that's probably the one part of what you've done that I question. It's a good enough website. I just think, you know what? I mean, everyone who listens to me knows how important websites are. It's home base for all your online activity, even your offline activity. We are who Google says we are. People are particularly going to check out their financial planner before they ring you, and they're going to do that via the web. Doesn't mean Squarespace is no good. You don't own the race course with Squarespace. It's not yours. They can change their pricing structure. They can get sold out, whereas WordPress is not like that. WordPress is free as a content management system. You've got to pay someone to design and develop it. But look, it's not a deal breaker, but sometimes I worry about not owning the race course. Tell me, what I do love about the website are the categories you've got. Know about us, services, contact us. You've got, I look at the nav bar, you've got introducing the Caboodles, how we can help, do some research. I love the Ask Us a Riddle section, Peita. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, so there's always going to be questions or things they want to query, or somebody wants to ask, hey, can you help me with this? And it actually came about because of one of the icons. We sort of got some extra ones from the graphic designers. They sort of threw some in. And one of them was the jigsaw. And when I looked at it, I saw jigsaw as a riddle, and that's just what gave me that sort of line. And I thought, well, it sort of is what clients feel. This is confusing and difficult for them. Well, that's a riddle,
Yep.
But once you actually explain a riddle, often it's that's what you meant. We find that reaction almost 100% to what people feel about their finance after we've spoken to them. They're like, it wasn't really that complicated.
Yep.
No, it's not. Once you get explained it the right way.
That section alone will be a very rich source of content for you to then create a set of frequently asked questions. Every riddle should turn into a blog post, potentially a video, potentially all sorts of things that you can, because, if the riddles are pretty much, the questions that are on your prospects and your clients' minds. So the answers form very rich content.
Yeah, absolutely. I hadn't really connected that.
And I'd be encouraging you to, at some point, sending the link to that section of your email out to your clients, asking them to ask a riddle. and then you've just got a whole lot of riddles ready to answer. And
absolutely.
And in answering them, sending them back the link and saying, here you go, here's the blog post or the video or the audio that we've created in answer to your riddle. And they'll love you. They will love you. We've got website now, YouTube. You've got a video marketing strategy, albeit not overly populated yet. But what I do love is you've got a YouTube channel with a designed background, which is on brand. You have got your little 20-second video from Fiverr that explains the change from Delta Plan to Caboodle, and you've got a couple of videos of yourself doing an interview. So, you're underway.
Yes, and look, I have to admit, prior to only the last few months, I hadn't really cottoned onto video as something so powerful. But But I suddenly realised that if I think about the key messages I've managed to absorb quickly, IT companies use this really well. So, Dropbox, all these guys that have got these great ideas that actually are quite simple, have these funky videos that are really easy to absorb, and they take, all of 30 seconds to 45 seconds and get a message across really quickly. And it just suddenly dawns that all of those explanations I give to clients about a topic that I repeat many hundreds of times are all things that I should be doing interviews on.
Oh yeah, gosh, absolutely. You're not short of content, that's for sure. And you must get asked the same question over and over and over again. And I just love, and you would have heard me talk about this at the Better Business series, where it's like, imagine being able to field a question from a client via a phone call or via an email or, at a live event, answering that question, but then saying, hey, listen, can I email you back a link in which I have actually a video response to that question where I go into even more detail? And they're going to say, they're going to say yes. They're going to love it. They're going to think you're the king, queen, and joker, and they're probably going to share it. They're going to go and they're going to show their colleagues, their family, their friends. Say, look at this. Look at my financial advisor. She's right onto it.
Yeah. Yeah, and particularly for us as a team, I have client service people that are engaging with the clients on the phone, and so I've got a team of people that aren't an advisor like myself, so they're not qualified, and this gives them so many tools to assist without it needing to come to me first. So there's all sorts of things they can give the clients that are helping them resolve their issues before it gets to me. And it still may, and of course that's fantastic. You want to engage with your clients, but it just lets them provide something in that minute. It's not that we need to wait to have an appointment or we need to wait for time, Peter, to come out of a meeting. Let me just send you that video right now. It'll get you started, and then you'll have some pointed questions that you can ask Peter when you manage to speak to her. So I really see it as a bandwidth tool.
What's your plan then, Peter, to make sure, because one of the blockages to a video marketing strategy is that what I call the flow, the ability to hit the red button on the camera, record, upload it, get it live. There's a little bit of process there. There's some technology. There's time, there's editing. How are you going to ensure that doesn't get in the way so that you can just hit record and away you go?
So what I've done is, those 2 interview series ones I've got there with me were part of a very long interview I did with a product provider that they actually gave me a copy of. And so I've scheduled out some shortcuts of that, so it's like an easy way for me to get some initial content and schedule that. And then I've actually hired a body to take on more of my they call it paraplanning, but it's like support analysis that I have to do as a planner so that I can specifically free up. And the aim is to have 50% of my time on marketing and creating these tools.
Holy dooly.
So we've given the number of clients we have. So we've just probably taken on about a total of 6,000 clients. So we're talking about a lot of people. Then, we need to be able to have a significant amount of my time is generating this content and the engagement tools, email marketing, all those things. I need to be able to actually dedicate time to it. So we've sort of made the decision to get a body on that frees me out at least half of my time after we've got them, trained up and brainwashed.
Can I just understand that? Because that's 50% of a business owner's time dedicated to marketing is significant. I don't know what the right allocation of time is, except that that is way above the average. But the average, I'm guessing, is pretty low. Secondly, that takes you, I'm guessing, one of the most skilled people at Caboodle away from doing the work.
So, in fact, what we do it's a valid point, but what we do for clients truly is that tagline, smart, simple financial services. So a lot of the smarts behind the advice is something that's replicable for the client. So we've done it many times before. So what I can do is have the essence of the advice, actually replicated by somebody else, and then they utilise me for a smaller portion of the engagement. So that's what we're trying to do. So it's and I hesitate to sort of go to the real, forward processing centre sort of approach, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the maximum engagement from my personality to the maximum people, and we feel this is the way to do it. Is actually applying the time to this, to them seeing me on video, to them engaging via a blog, to them, all that sort of stuff. And then they engage then with the team for advice.
Gotcha. Clever. Like that. Now, let's move on. You've got Facebook. Facebook's obviously a place to, well, I shouldn't say obviously, because there are different roles Facebook can play. What role is Facebook going to play within Caboodle?
It's probably the one that I'm least clear on, to be honest.
Yep.
But certainly what I want to do is, there's a lot of things that happen in finance and money generally that are of the moment. The Reserve Bank announcing interest rate cuts one. So I think for us, Facebook is that tool that you can just sort of go, well, letting you know that none of us are going to be, having any more money in our pocket. They haven't changed the cash rate, or, some little things like that. But I also think I really just want to take the mickey out of finance a little bit. So finding funny photos of the senior finance people in governments around the world and sharing them. And, that sort of really, this stuff actually isn't that complex. And let's be serious, some pretty intelligent and serious people around the world mess it up all the time. So making people feel engaged with those things without it being the formal Australian Financial Review sort of serious approach. It's still engaging them with new topics, but via a more fun sort of method. Yeah,
okay. Okay, that sounds a smart thing to do. And in fact, as you're talking about, updating like the Reserve Bank's view on interest rates, etc., a business like yours and someone like you, back to video marketing, it would be ideal for you to do a 2 to 3 minute news update once a week, which would, I think, form the basis of a useful email marketing campaign where you could go out to your list and say, your weekly news updates there, and all of a sudden Caboodle becomes that one point of reference for those 6,000 customers, clients who want to know how does the Reserve Bank rate decision impact us? What's this new thing about super? Whatever it is, pick 2 or 3 points, 3 minutes once a week. I mean, all of a sudden you are heading well down the path of becoming the authority in your marketplace. That's
really what we're aiming for.
Love it. Now, okay. Would you mind sharing, Peita, ballpark what you've spent so far?
Yes. Okay. So the 2 most expensive elements were the branding work with the graphic designer and the photographic work. All up, I think they were, I think it was about $4,000 for all of that.
Yep.
And from that point, goodness, I think the most I've spent is probably a total of $500 since then. I've used 99 Designs to do Facebook and the Caboodle TV and our web banner. And it's hard to spend a lot of money on 99 Designs.
It is.
and you get a lot for it. And of course, our little video with our Lego was $10, I think, on Fiverr, and I have to admit those tools. While I accept there's probably an evolution of some of those that you might use down the track that we spend a bit more depending on your audience. I just think they're so engaging and humorous and fun that as a business owner, can I say, it's fun doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes it gets a bit dry and a bit dull being a business owner. It's all the weight on the shoulders. And I have had the fun of cork, as my grandmother would say.
I love that.
You're doing this. So I think that's got to help.
Well, sometimes I hesitate to, when I'm standing in front of a group of serious business owners and reflecting on just how serious business is. Marketing is fun. Marketing should be fun. If you enjoy doing it, if you respect the power of good marketing and have a crack at it, then that will come through in the marketing outputs you create. I have no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And, I'm just surprised at just how little time most small business owners put into their marketing. Now, marketing is such a broad term that you could argue that, well, anytime you're working on product or people or whatever it is, then that's marketing. But I guess what we're talking about here is pure marketing communications, and it should be fun, and it's your business, represent it properly.
Absolutely, and I guess I've sort of seen this as an avenue throughout the business as like a toolbox for my team. And so the 50% we're talking about includes, campaigns on particular topics that can be supported throughout the different methods or the different communication styles. So we've sort of encapsulated all that other work that can sometimes be a bit all over the shop, to be honest. Let's send out a letter about this, or let's focus on that. We've sort of brought it all together and said this all needs to be part of a comms plan.
Yep.
And if we can get that right, then once again that subliminal conditioning thing starts to work. When people start to get consistent messages and get some confidence in the messages you're sending, which I think is important.
It could be a premature question, this one, because you haven't launched it to your client base, so you haven't got that feedback and that energy hasn't kind of found its way outside the front door yet. But your staff obviously have clearly seen where you're taking the business. How's it impacted? What have you noticed that's different?
Well, what we did do, while we haven't launched it to the staff, we did do a soft launch. I sort of used that funny term that restaurants use and clubs. They have a soft launch to sort of try it out. We did a soft launch to business partners, colleagues, family, friends. So we did basically an email that went out saying, we're really excited about this. We'd love you to take a look. We really want your feedback. Let us know. And it's been not only funny in that there's been people we had lost track of that have then got back in touch because they saw this and engaged with it, but word has quietly spread. So I've had people call me that are sort of not necessarily part of my circle that you might come across at things, who said so-and-so mentioned they saw that TV channel you've now got, and I was wondering if you could talk to me about it. So it's had this little almost mini viral effect already, and out of an email marketing, so we just sent that little email out via MailChimp, and we had an 85% open rate and an over 50% click-through rate, which, as I understand it, is quite high.
That is significantly high. Let me understand that a bit more, because 85% open's huge. So is that to your 6,000?
No, so this is just to this soft launch. So that was a list of about 150.
And how often do they receive an email from you?
Never.
Right.
Aside from during business.
Okay, so they're going, geez, Delta Plan have just sent me an email. I better open it.
What the?
Yeah, that's right. What's going on? Are they still around? Okay. Well, that's significant. That may drop away, but it's a challenge. It's a creative challenge. I mean, that's a topic in itself. Email marketing, of which I have one coming up on the Small Business Big Marketing Show. I've actually identified one of Australia's leading email marketing specialists. So lots of questions for him.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Peita, close to the end. Maintaining the momentum. Have you got a plan in place? You've done some great work going from 1983 to 2013. And, that's terribly rude of me, isn't it? But I always think Delta.
No, I completely agree.
You've got this momentum. Things are underway. You're going to allocate 50% of your time to ensuring the marketing stays on track. Is there anything else that you've got in place? Have you got a 12-month calendar of events or something that keeps you accountable?
So certainly I've got, and I'm looking at right now on the wall, one of those calendars that you get for families where it's got like a column per family member.
Yeah.
And so I've put on there the website versus the YouTube. So I've sort of put all of those channels up there and have, over the next few months, already put on dates and items that I want to have as key messages to get done, and we'll be filling out the rest of that for the year, actually, in basically the next few weeks, so that then, in fact, I can do what I like about doing that so far in advance is I can actually retrain my team on a topic. So if I do a video on a particular item, then in advance of that, I can do a little training session, and it engages the team in that as well.
Brilliant.
Let's just prepare them, have a bit of a profile for them for their training. And I have to admit, the other thing we're doing is really engaging the team in their ideas for this, and they're having fun too. So each one of them have a part of their role is to, well, what are your questions about finance, and what don't you understand? Okay, tell me what you think we should have as a video, or should I interview you? Depending on their comfort level. So they're really getting into all of that, and I see as giving a bit of fun, in their role as well.
Yeah, great. Love it. Okay, just to finish off, what advice would you give to other small business owners who would like to follow in your footsteps of taking their marketing to the next level?
I think the brand identity is fundamental. So even if it's not spending the money on the brand identity, knowing who you are, who you're not, and it's almost that 10-second lift conversation, it's being able to capture what you're about and as a person what you're about, because often as small business owners, we have a distinct personality or even an interest. I don't know, it might be sailing or whatever it is. Then capturing that and having that as part of your brand is going to make it so much easier to implement these things. I mean, in terms of the time frame it took me to do this, it was far shorter than I thought, and I firmly believe it's because the brand felt so natural to me, and the words just flowed. It really worked, and I think that's probably, it's hard, but if you can do that first, I think the rest of it will be so easy. All of the feedback you've got to give on look and feel, all of the design elements for Facebook, any of that stuff becomes really easy when you can clearly enunciate for a designer what you're about.
Would it be fair to say that, on reflection, this type of marketing makeover seemed a whole lot bigger in your mind than it ended up being?
Oh, yes. So much bigger. Yes, it was. I saw this as something that, we need to, seriously research, take many months to talk about. That big corporate approach where we regurgitate and rethink and overthink. I saw it as that sort of effort, whereas because of the Better Business Forum and yourself and the great ideas and the practical ideas and a deadline, which we had due to the competition, and I am one of those people that responds to, look, you've just got to get it done in this ridiculously short time frame, then you really manage to get things done and get results that you can sort of have a bit of a click of the glass, bit of champagne, woohoo, we've done it. Because I'm a firm believer in that you've got to enjoy the little wins as a business owner, because sometimes the slog can be hard, and that's certainly what this gave us. The team were really proud of the photos. They were really proud of the Facebook page and the way it comes across, and they really felt good about it. And that's not easy to come by necessarily.
Peita Dimantidis from Caboodle Financial Services. It's inspiring stuff. It's the start. It's certainly not the end. The work is ahead to maintain and build it, but you are so far ahead of where you were and so far ahead of your competition. It's inspiring stuff. So thank you for being a part of this show, and well done.
Oh, well, and thank you for your input. I'm not sure it would have happened without you, so thank you so much.
Good on you, Peita. Thank you. Well, guys, I hope you found that fireside chat with Peita as inspiring as I did. I love action takers, and that's what it's all about. Let me share 5 learnings that I took from that interview, and I'd love to hear yours too. Feel free to put them in the show notes of episode 129. Learning number 1 is get your brand right. Like, start at the start. Message first, medium second. First part of message creation is getting your brand right. Understand the key pillars. If there were 3 questions you were going to answer on behalf of your business, it is, who are your best mates? What do you do? And answer that in an emotional way. I've spoken about that on previous episodes. And how do you want to be described? What is the personality of your brand? That is a great start to understanding your brand. My second learning, already talked about it. Take action, guys. Action creates reaction. As I said there, just go ahead and do something about your marketing that's going to move it forward. Be consistent. Peita has been beautifully consistent. Once she's got that, once she's renamed her business, she's then, and had it redesigned, she's then played it out across business cards, letterhead, stationery, website, Facebook, YouTube. Everything looks the same. That builds familiarity. That builds consistency. That builds trust. And with that comes transactions. Number 4 learning, there's a lot of learnings here. I'll give you 2 more. Number 4, acknowledge the power of marketing. You listen to this show, you must have an interest in improving your marketing. So acknowledge the power of marketing. Peita's done that big time. Look how much time she's dedicated to focusing on the marketing of her business going forward. Learning number 5, acknowledge the power of content marketing. Peita's got her brand right. She's got her copy right. She's got the website happening, and now she's focusing on content marketing. She's doing the videos. She's got the Facebook happening. I wouldn't be surprised if I spoke to her in a few months' time and she goes, Timbo, I've just written my first book. I can't believe it. She's that type of lady, but she appreciates the power of content marketing. So some great learnings there. Thanks so much, Peita, for being a part of the show. Now, let me give you, and by the way, go to the show notes at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, episode 129, and you'll find links to all the things that Peita have created, all the marketing touch points that Peita have created. Now, let me give you an update on John Dingledy and his pursuit of a date with Kylie Minogue. If you listen to the last episode, that's what it was all about. A local Melbourne business executive trying to get a date with Kylie Minogue, all in the name of charity. He hasn't got it yet, but I've had a lot of listeners come back, and thank you so much for all the emails that you've sent back, the tweets, the updates on Facebook, saying, hey, you should hit up Kylie on Facebook, approach her on Twitter. She's pretty active on Twitter. Get in touch with her local management company with some other advice, and also go down the sisterly love route. See whether you can get to Danny. Hey, Danny might be easier than Kylie. Don't think so. I reckon Danny would be harder, but hey, that's just me. So look, we're still trying. I would love to report back to you at some point that, yep, John has got a date with Kylie Minogue as a result of being on the Small Business Big Marketing Show. Wouldn't that be ace? All right, now let me give you an update on the Seth Godin, I was going to say saga, but it's a bit of a project, really. A few episodes ago, I announced the fact that Seth had said no to coming onto my show. Very politely said no to coming on my show. Just this week, Matt Fitzmaurice, a listener to my show, emailed me and said, hey, have a listen to this episode of Seth's podcast where he explains why he turns down people like me. Now, I don't think I am one of the people he describes, but let me share what Seth says. And I was going to replay it in terms of what he says on his podcast, but I'm not sure Seth would allow that, and I'd rather get this out. So let me kind of summarize what he says. He says, right now, in today's day and age, everyone can have their own TV or radio show online, which is true. I mean, I think it's amazing that the small business owner can have their own show. That's what podcasting allows you to do. That's what video allows you to do. He goes on to say it's easy to be invisible and be a no personality conduit, right? So what he's saying is that there's lots of reporters out there these days, lots of journalists seeking interviews with really interesting people, but having no personality themselves. He then says just showing up every week, but adding no value is not really where it's at, or at least not what he's interested in. They don't have the guts to have a point of view, these people who are just showing up and interviewing experts. He then says he reckons we need more people showing up and having a point of view and worth following for themselves and not for the guests they have on the show. At the end, he summarises by saying, become your own distinct voice. I got to agree with all that. And the last thing, I would hate to think that I'm just a reporter. I hope, certainly my intention every time I turn the microphone on is to bring my own opinions around small business marketing and also bring you the opinions of others who I respect as doing great marketing. And combined, I then motivate you, the motivated small business owner, to do great marketing. That's how my show works. I certainly don't think I'm a reporter. I want to be seen as the guy who adds marketing value to your business, both through my own opinions and that of others. And I don't think I communicated that clearly to Seth when I first approached him by email. I don't expect Seth to have listened to my show. I'm sure he's a busy guy, but I think he responded based on those points that he made then. So I am going to go back to him. I'm just finding the time. I'm probably going to go back, put together a bit of a video and send that to him. And hopefully sometime this year, Seth Godin will appear on the Small Business Big Marketing Show, despite my audience not being as big as his. But I am going to continue to push that barrow because, look, I do think he'd bring a lot of value to you and me, but I also think a discussion with him and I would be of high value as well. And I'm not just being the reporter. All right, that is pretty much it, guys. Upcoming episodes, unbelievable. I've got a guy, Daniel, who's created this wonderful brand, this social enterprise called Thank You Water. I have got an email marketing expert who, this guy, OMG, let me tell you, Shane Tilley is excited about email marketing. I put it out on Facebook, the fact that I was interviewing him, got about 30 questions come back from listeners via Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn. And we go deep down into figuring out what makes for a successful email marketing campaign for the small business owner. Who else have I got? I've got Robert Gerish, founder of Flying Solo, coming up as well, plus lots more. Enough from me. Remember, the Small Business Big Marketing Forum is open for business. Go to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com and click on the banner on the right-hand side that says Forum. And remember, we are brought to you by the very good folk at Net Registry who make this show happen and who make your online marketing happen. Enough from me. Have a wonderful week. May your marketing be amazing marketing. See you next time.
You've been listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show with Tim Reid. Want more marketing goodness? Then visit smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.